A very good evening again to everybody and welcome. And let me invite the Peace Corps Sri Lanka Country Director, Kavita Pulapilli, to officially welcome everyone. Kavita, it's over to you.
Thanks, Pri. Welcome everyone to this fourth workshop for teachers. We're very excited to bring this to Sri Lanka in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. I don't know if many of you know about Peace Corps, but we are a US government agency that brings US volunteers, American volunteers, to the countries that we serve in to serve for 2 years. And our volunteers unfortunately have not arrived yet in Sri Lanka because of COVID. But in the meantime, we are doing wonderful activities like this program, the Forum for English Teachers, to support the Ministry of Education's priorities in improving communicative English in Sri Lanka, not only amongst students, but also amongst teachers. So we're very excited to have Toastmasters here with us today. I put it in the chat, but I was in Toastmasters when I was in high school at the ripe age of 16. It helped me actually come out of my shell a little bit. I was very shy and very nerdy. And so I really appreciated Toastmasters for helping me have an avenue to use my voice and have my voice heard. So we are very excited to have Toastmasters from Division A in District 82, led by Toastmaster Aruni Wimalasena. Toastmasters is an international organization and is headquartered in the US. It's a nonprofit educational organization. And there are many Toastmasters clubs around the world, including Sri Lanka. And the clubs focus on promoting communication, public speaking, and leadership. So thank you, Toastmasters, for agreeing to come and do this workshop with us today. I'm very excited for it, and hopefully that'll give the teachers on this in the forum some ideas of how they can apply some of these techniques in their classrooms. So without further ado, I'll hand it back to Pri and we can start the workshop. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kavita. And so again, with a lot of thanks to the Toastmasters who are here, I'm going to hand over the control of this session to Ruani Wimalasena.
Thanks, Pri. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And I hope all of you are keeping well and staying safe. First of all, I would like to thank Pri and her team at Peace Corps for giving us, the Division A Toastmasters, this opportunity to conduct this program. And secondly, thanks to all the participants for making an effort and registering yourself for the program. I believe and I'm sure that you will have a wonderful learning experience within the next few hours. And last but not least, I would like to thank my team, Division A Toastmasters, for volunteering for this program, because I know that all of you have a busy schedule, but thank you very much for saying yes to me. And let's conduct the meeting in a while. So I think Kavita made my life easy because she already gave an intro as to what Toastmasters is. So for the benefit of everyone, even if you Google it, you will find millions of answers and information out there in the web. So Toastmasters, as she clearly mentioned, it is a non-profit organization, and it teaches public speaking and leadership skills. So purely focusing on improving public speaking skills and leadership skills of members. And it is through a worldwide network of clubs. So globally, if I'm to give you some stats, we have Toastmasters clubs in 149 countries and close to about 300,000 members out there. In order to make our lives easy, they have put us into certain districts, divided us into certain districts. So we, the Sri Lankans, we fall into District 82 and District 82 and Division A. So currently Division A is led by a Toastmaster, a distinguished Toastmaster called Shanaka Vijayasinghe. He will join us later on. And my team, all of us are members of Division A, District 82. What you will witness within a span of 1 to 1.5 hours would be how an educational meeting will be conducted. So basically, to summarize what we do at a Toastmasters meeting. Each member will play a significant role during the meeting, and they will introduce themselves and will tell you the benefit of having that particular role in an educational meeting. To start off with, we have an educational session, which will be interesting, and it will come, some of the learnings will come in handy in your future activities also, as you play your role as a teacher. So let's start the program, and I will introduce our keynote speaker for today. He is an entrepreneur, a visiting lecturer of MBA program at University of Colombo, a proud member of the Colombo Toastmasters Club, a past president of the Colombo Toastmasters Club. He held many leadership positions representing the area, division, and the district, and the past district director for District 82 for the year 2019-2020. Please give a virtual round of applause to distinguished Toastmaster Sarma Mahalinga. Distinguished Toastmaster Sarma, over to you.
Thank you. Can I share my screen? Yeah.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah. And I'm audible?
Yes.
Yes. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. It's a great opportunity for us to come and explain how this Toastmaster program is so fun and a great place to learn. Let me start with two quotations. As Benjamin Franklin says, tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember, but involve me and I learn. This is what we do in Toastmasters. There is one more quotation from our father and who started 98 years ago, the Toastmaster movement, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. He says, our meetings are what we learn best in moments of enjoyment. So here, what we are trying to establish as teachers, what we are going to do, teach the students, and we are confident, and we have seen this in our Gavel Club movement. What is Gavel Club? It's a small a version of Toastmasters. They are only from 12 to 18 years old students are accepted as a group, and we call it Toastmaster Gavel Club. So since we have Colombo Toastmasters Club and also having a Gavel Club, we have over 10 years experience how these Gaveliers have improved themselves through this program. Therefore, I'm just going to give you a few areas in the meeting how it happens, but you will be seeing in action as a demonstration today. But let me explain how this will be very useful for the students to learn during the session with a moment of enjoyment. So the first thing is what we do is we always start with a round robin session. Round robin session is everyone in the room has to speak 15 to 20 seconds. So what it's going to teach you is it focuses what the other person is going to say, and when a person speaks 15 to 20 seconds, he has to finish on the bell, and the next person has to start the same word spoken by the previous speaker. And you have to, that means you have to focus. So you have to be very attentive during that session. So that is, you build up your focus skills during this session. Then immediately when your turn comes, you have to think on your feet. So what other person spoke, and there will be a subject will be given. So you have to speak on the subject. And while you are standing and speaking, you have to think and quickly deliver your speech within 10 to 15 to 20 seconds. So during that time, it's also very important, you have to structure your speech. So this gives you the children the skill how to create a speech within 15 to 20 seconds. There are structure, I think somebody will explain. This will be opening of a speech, body of a speech, and the conclusion. So within 15 to 20 seconds, imagine that the person can give a complete speech of given topic by picking up the word of the last person spoke on the bell. It's a great opportunity for the children to learn. So this is give them, open up them and give them an anxiety for them to learn their skills. So this is also in the room, it creates opportunity for each and everyone in the audience or in the room or the classroom where the children are there. So you give everybody opportunity to speak. Then also it breaks the emotions. Why is that? Because when you ask somebody to speak in front of an audience, people are nervous. We always call it butterfly in our stomach. So when you speak continuously, you break the ice. During the classroom session, everyone get an opportunity to speak. Then they get used to that, to speak 15-20 seconds at least every session when you conduct in the classroom. So it becomes like first they're very anxious and the butterflies in the stomach, and slowly that will come out and the emotion will move away from them. Then they become a focused person, and they always give an opportunity to think on their feet, and they develop the speech structure, and also they break the emotion. Then what we do is, during the meeting, we give a word of the day. So every meeting we give a word where every student or the participant use the word maximum as possible. Today I think you can give a word as a fuel, or you can give as a cue. So then everyone talks using that word. Then whenever a person uses that word, the other people clap for three to four times to appreciate person that using the word of the day. This is also a very good thing for people to learn at least every session one word with meaning. So there was a person, you give the word of the day and give the meaning and give few examples how to use that particular word during the session. It may be a noun or maybe an adjective or whatever it is. Then the students will learn at least one word a day during your teaching. So we also do in the Toastmasters, we use the word of the day every meeting. So I learned many words through my last 15 years experience through Toastmasters. This will help you at least if we have at least twice a month a meeting, at least I learn 25 words a year. So it's a great vocabulary we can build up among ourselves. Then the session called prepared speech session. So we have manuals, and if you have some textbook that you are going to teach something for the next session, you can tell the students to prepare something, a speech or a few things for the next the classroom session, and ask them to come and give a speech, maybe 3 to 5 minutes or 5 to 7 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes, depends on the time allocated for you to teach. So the prepared speech will have the research, they write the speech, and the rehearsal speech, they come and deliver the speech. So you can give the subject matter. So the others will also learn new things and the person will prepare and come. Then you can ask them to go through the textbook and maybe prepare from the textbook and come, or they can go through the website and prepare some speech and come and deliver 2 to 3 minutes or maybe 5 to 7 minutes. This helps the students for them to write a speech, prepare the speech and structure the speech and rehearse the speech and come and deliver in front of an audience, students, where they will come out the anxiety and become more confident. Then we have a session called impromptu speeches in the Toastmaster meeting. This is 2 to 3 minutes or 1 to 2 minutes. We will have some topics written on the board, or we will have some topics written on the paper. The student had to come front, or the Gavalier or the Toastmaster member come front and pick up one of the topics and speak about 1 to 2 minutes. So this will also help the students to bring the idea of how they can speak impromptu situations. Why in our life we have many impromptu situations or the sudden situation to give answer. Therefore, impromptu speaking session is also one of the very interesting session in Toastmaster meeting. So where people build up their confidence and come front and speak in front of an audience or the people in the room, and that will help the Toastmaster or Gavalier or even the student to build up the speaking skills, as well as when they come front continuously, they also build up their leadership skills. Then we have a session called evaluation. Evaluation is always good for the speeches, prepared speeches or impromptu speeches. So we appoint some evaluators during the meeting, and then what we do is ask them to, as per there is a requirement in our manuals, in Toastmaster manuals, and we ask them to evaluate the speeches given by the speaker. The ultimate motive of the evaluation is to encourage the speaker to come back again and speak. Sometimes when we speak, we are nervous. We don't know what we have said or spoken. But if somebody note down and tell you what are the good things, what you see that you should improve, and summarize with what are the things if you really have in your pocket as a strength in your speech. So evaluation sessions in Toastmasters or in Gavel Club meetings also very helpful for students to come and deliver their next speech or to speak next time with more confidence and more preparation. So the main idea of evaluation to motivate the speaker, so appreciate the speaker's effort and help the speaker to develop his or her skills. So we use the CRC method. How the CRC method works is, first we come in, we talk about very good things. Maybe there are two categories in a speech. One is 50% of the weight is go to the structure of the speech. The 50% goes on the delivery. So we first say that what are the good part of the speech structure or the preparation, and second is what are the good part of the delivery, either voice variation, gestures, eye contact with the audience, or coordinating movement on the stage. Many things we come in as a delivery part. So we tell about the good things, about 3 to 4 things, good things. Then you can say some recommendation. So you have to improve your vocabulary. You have to see whether you can speak within the allotted time. You are taken overtime, or you can say that you were most of the time you were silent in front of an audience. You didn't speak more than 30 seconds at a time, and all those things you can slightly 1 or 2 recommendation you can say. And end of the time, end of the evaluation, what you have to do is you have to motivate again. Even you have few flaws in your speech, but you have done really well, and your strengths are this and this. And next time, with my humble recommendation, please do better next time, and we appreciate that. Want to see you again. So we make it a sandwich type of evaluation where we don't hurt the speaker, at the same time we motivate the speaker. So the evaluation is a very interesting thing in Toastmasters, even Gavel Club, for people to involve. Even another students can evaluate. No need to be the teacher to evaluate. So you give an opportunity for other person also to learn the skills of evaluation. But evaluations are done only based on the objective, not on the caste or creed or height or size or anything, only based on the objective. You can create your own objective in your speeches and then give the person to evaluate. So it's also very interesting thing in our club meeting. And we do many theme meetings. So we can have festival, we can have current economic situation, current country situation. So we pick up a theme and we announce before the meeting and say this is going to be the theme. So people prepare themselves and come for the theme meeting. And with a lot of information they gather and they come and talk about. Say, for example, we say that we have person Poerde at the theme meeting. So people talk more on the person Poerde and learn many things about person Poerde. So this is also very helpful to learn particular subject during the meeting. So we don't worry much about the language at the start, but slowly we improve their languages through the grammarian report or through the evaluation. But we make sure people learn by doing involve themselves in a meeting. This is also a meeting situation. And whenever we conduct a meeting, we always make sure we have fun. How to do fun? We appreciate, we give some small gifts. We all the time we applaud the speaker, we applaud the evaluator, we applaud the role players during the meeting. So all the time you make it interactive and be happy rather than we find fault with people, but we together we correct our mistake and we improve ourselves. Because if you involve everybody together, the learning is high, the mistakes will be taken very lightly, very subtly, and they will improve themselves in the meeting. So I just compared a Toastmaster meeting today with how our Cavaliers has improved and how they are willing. Today, if you take, we are very, very difficult to accommodate Cavaliers in our club meeting because we have over 100 members waiting to come on the virtual platform. Why? Because they see something is happening, they see some learnings happening, they see the parents are very happy that these children are learning while having fun in the room. Therefore, I humbly recommend this. If you adopt at least few things from the Toastmaster meeting, you can have fun. One thing, second, members, your students will learn while they get involved with themselves in the classroom session or in the meeting session. That's all from me. Anything you can send the chat. I think we are restricted with the time. Over to you, Ruvani.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Sarma. And I'm sure what the lessons learned and the points that you've shared, it will come in handy to our audience, and I'm sure that they will use them in their future activities. Now, let's move on to the model meeting. To conduct the model meeting, let me invite my colleague, a Division A member from the Millennium IT ESP Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Niroshan Dharmakanta. Toastmaster Niroshan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Ruvani, and welcome all the guests to this model meeting. Now, you've all heard about what Toastmasters is about and got a lot of information about it from everyone that spoke before me. Now, it's time to witness what we actually do. Now, within Toastmasters, how we practice all this, all what we said, is through this concept of having an effective educational meeting. For us to do that, we have different role players playing their roles so that it helps out everyone to understand what is expected out of them. I'm sure every one of you are playing different roles at home or your workplace, wherever you go, you have to put on a certain hat and play that role. Now, within the meeting, I will be the host. Now, my duty is to make sure that the meeting goes according to plan and the conduct of the meeting has a flow in it as well. To help me out to carry out this meeting, I have a set of role players who will be doing their part to make this an effective meeting. First and foremost, let me tell you, the heart of Toastmasters is all about feedback, knowing whether we are doing things right or where we need to improve on. For that, to conduct the meeting and also to give us feedback on how well the meeting went or where things can be improved going forward, there's a role called the general evaluator. So let me call upon the general evaluator for the day, distinguished Toastmaster Shamali from the Colombo Toastmasters Club, will be introducing her role and her team of evaluators for the day. Distinguished Toastmaster Shamali, over to you.
Thank you. Toastmaster Niroshan, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this model meeting. So as the presenter said, I picked on something he mentioned. He quoted Benjamin Franklin and said, "Involve me and I learn." So today we are going to see different people doing different roles. And when they are involved and carry out these roles, My responsibility as the general evaluator is to lead the evaluation team or the feedback team and provide constructive and meaningful evaluation. And as the presenter also mentioned, we have to lead and deliver this feedback or the evaluation so that the speakers would be encouraged to come back and speak once again. So to assist me in this evaluation roles, I have several role players. And let me introduce the role players one by one. In Toastmasters, we call them the tag team. TAG, meaning the timer, the hour counter, and the grammarian. So let me first introduce the timer for today's meeting, who will time various segments. The timer this evening is Toastmaster Tilina Vitharama, who is a member of the Institute of Quantity Surveyors Sri Lanka Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Tilina, will you explain your role and show the timing cards?
Okay, thank you very much, General Evaluator. My name is Tilina Vitharama. I'm from PCSL Toastmaster Club. Today's my role is timer. As timer, my role is to track the time while the speakers delivering their speeches. So during the speech, I track the time, then I will show time cards at 5th minute for at time occurs. So at the round robin session, I will use virtual timer for track the time. At the prepared speech session, I will show green color time card at the 5th minute, amber color time card at the 6th minute, and red color time card at the 7th minute. And then at the table topic session, I will track the time and I will show green color time card at the 1.5 minute, then yellow color time card at 2nd minute, and red color time card at the 2.5 minute. So I will show you virtual time cards. So I will change my Zoom background accordingly. So this is my green color time card. I think you all can see my green color time card. And this is my amber color time card. I think you all can see it. And this is my red color time card. So at the end of the session, I will give a comprehensive evaluation regarding the timing of each and every speaker. So that is my role in brief. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tilina. I now invite my fellow Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Manesh.
Thank you, General Evaluator.
To explain the role, explain his role, which is the role of our counter. Toastmaster Manesh.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Hope I am audible for you all. And indeed, greetings and fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch and pause filler by anyone who speaks today. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and and also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase, such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will be giving the report of all the speakers who have used these expressions. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Manish. I now call upon the grammarian for this evening, my fellow member, Toastmaster Vinodini Durgabakshi, to explain her role and give us the word of the day.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Now, as the grammarian, first let me say that English is not our native mother tongue, but it is a very important language. It's a link language. So we need to speak good English. So my role as a grammarian is to keep track of the incorrect usage of grammar, incorrect pronunciation, and I will also make note if there is a good phrase or thought used. And I will give my report at the end of the session when the general evaluator calls me to do so. Now, the word of the day is a very simple word. It is thrill. Thrill is a noun, and the meaning is a sudden feeling of excitement and pleasure. So if we use it in a sentence, the grandmother was thrilled to see her grandchildren visit her. A thrill went through her when she heard she had got the promotion she wanted, or the thrill of jumping out of an aeroplane, or his kiss thrilled and excited her. So use the word thrill. It is a new word to learn. Use it in all the speeches, in round robin, and wherever you can. And let's learn a new word for the day. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Grammarian. And my role, in order to summarize, my role is to observe the meeting from the beginning to the end and provide my report apart from what will be delivered by the tag team when I'm called upon to do so by the Toastmaster this evening. Because remember, we are in the business of communication. And if you want to be a successful communicator, as Marie Forleo had said, success doesn't come to you if you do things occasionally. It comes to you if you do things consistently. So if we consistently apply good speaking habits, we will become great communicators. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator and the tag team who will be helping us to know how we do during the meeting and of course to keep a control of things. Now, as I informed at the initial stage of this meeting, all these role players have a key role as they explained to play during the meeting that we are having today. Next up, it is my duty to introduce the round robin session. But of course, our distinguished Toastmaster Sharma made my life very easy by introducing it during his session. Now, if we are to do it with 42 participants, that would take a lot of time, and I'm sure everyone here has joined in amidst their busy schedule. Therefore, we will not be doing a round robin session, but let me briefly tell you what happens during a round robin session to get an understanding of it, and then probably you can practice it with the students and of course your colleagues as well. The round robin session is a session that is conducted purely by Sri Lankan Toastmasters and of course introduced by one eminent Toastmaster as well. Now during this session, the idea behind it is to make sure that everyone at least gets to talk for 20 seconds during a Toastmasters meeting. Because sometimes we see that people come and just sit, witness what is happening, and then walk back. But the more you take part, the more you grab hold of the opportunities that you get, is when your learning will also happen. Therefore, to encourage everyone to take part and have a learning from the meeting, the round robin session has been introduced. Not just that, we call it a warm-up session, where before we go into the segments of prepared speeches or the table topics, or we call it the impromptu speaking session, we need to get our voices out, be fresh and ready to face the challenges that are to come. With this in mind, we invite everyone to speak for 20 seconds. Now, how it happens is, during this session, we will be throwing out a topic. It can be related to the theme of the meeting that we are having for that particular day. It can be a continuation of a story that we began, and then everyone pitches in and gives their ideas of what that story is all about. Or it can be a debate as well. You can start with one point, and the next speaker would give an opposition or opposing comment to what the previous speaker gave. So there are different ways that we can conduct this round robin session. The catch or the rules that we follow here is that once the 20 seconds are over, when you see that your time is up, you need to stop. But the next speaker who's going to speak needs to pay close attention. That's where your listening skills come into picture. And pick up the last word uttered by the previous speaker. Start from that word. So it's not a phrase, it's not a sentence, it's the last word. For example, if I finish the sentence by unfortunately, the next speaker will need to start the speech or start their comment by saying unfortunately and then continue along with the topic or the story that we were talking about. I'm sure you might have got a bit of an idea about what the round robin session is all about. We can probably do it as a practice with, like I said, with your students, just to get them to start speaking, or with your colleagues, just to try it out and see. And depending on the time that you have, you can probably increase the time a bit, make it 30 seconds or even 1 minute, depending on how you want to go about it as well. So that's about the round robin session. Now we come to an interesting session, and within a Toastmasters educational meeting, this we call the prepared speech session. Here, generally a Toastmaster would come prepared for a project that they are supposed to do, and then they need to do their research, they need to do their pre-preparation, and then rehearsing, come very well prepared to deliver an effective speech. So to demonstrate how this is done, we have a Toastmaster from the Millennium IT ESP Toastmasters Club who will be delivering a speech. Not just the speech, we will also be having an evaluation done for this particular speech, because it's important for us to understand how an evaluator would capture all the points that the speaker is doing well, as well as the areas of improvement, so that he or she can incorporate those changes going forward and also identify the strengths that they have during their speeches. So let me call upon the speaker, and there's a way that we introduce the speaker on stage as well. Toastmaster Tejani, hope you are ready. And Toastmaster Rohini, hope you are ready for the evaluation. All right, so let me introduce the speaker. Toastmaster Tejani Vijayawardena, confused millennial, Toastmaster Tejani Vijayawardena.
Nedu, how old are you? Do you have a boyfriend? Aki is getting married this year. It'll be your time soon. Here goes my relations. It's almost the time for you to get married. How come you do not have a boyfriend? We will make sure that you are married within the next 2 years. Here goes my mother. Dear Toastmaster of the day and my dear confused souls. I do not understand our Sri Lankan culture. When we were schooling, if we sneeze towards the direction of a boy, our parents would lecture us saying, you should not have a boyfriend at this age. You should focus on your studies. If you do have one, it will mess up your future. Like not having one didn't. So I went to an only girls' school. When it was a time for university, I fantasized all the Hollywood high school scenarios. Meeting a guy, dancing in the rain, falling in love, being the popular couple, and living happily ever after. But then, my father gave me a word of advice. Puta, A university is a place to study, not the place to find your boyfriend. So please don't. Being the obedient child, I let all my Hollywood fantasies go down the drain. Every time a guy asked me out, I rejected him, even when I liked him back. So I was single throughout my university life. Traditional parents' expectations. School days, you can't talk to a boy. University, you can talk, but can't date. It's all understandable. I can stay single forever. But what does not make sense is, I graduated 1 year ago. And now my parents want me to marry a guy whom I had a relationship for 2 years. I'm confused unga bunga. Do I have a poor knowledge in maths? Or did I go into a coma and missed few years of my life? And all above, there's my sister. She's putting hay to the fire, saying that I might be a lesbian. Coming from a background that having a boyfriend is a taboo, I think that was the only option I had. But sadly, I am fully straight. And that's not the only thing that my sister does. Now I'm given permission to find a boyfriend on my own. So I started to look out for a few. With this pandemic and this crisis situation, I won't be able to find anyone in person. So I got myself into some dating apps. You find all sort of creeps in those. Rarely finds anyone looking for something serious. And when I sense that someone is, I tend to talk to them. If my sister get a wind of it, she goes, Amma, Nangi is speaking to someone. You better find out. And my mother? Whom were you speaking to? Do something useful, clean your room, cook something at least. I'm confused, unga bunga. Do they want me to find a boyfriend or not? Keeping all aside, I agreed on them looking for proposals. They published my details on Sunday Observer Matrimonial and Lankalika Mangalikin. They made sure to highlight my advertisement while paying a little bit extra. And my parents not being all techie, I was the one who made the email address and read all my proposals. Every time I receive an email, I felt like someone was depositing money to my bank account. Knowing all their wealth and assets, I wanted to inform the income tax department. Coconut estate, cinnamon estate, house in Colombo, hotel in Negombo. I'm like, wow, what a luxurious life I can live. And I wonder, how come there's so much of single rich men in Sri Lanka and I couldn't even find one? But for a traditional family, the money doesn't matter. It all boils down to the horoscope and the caste. School days, I couldn't talk to a boy. University, I couldn't date a guy. And now, horoscope and caste. But looking at all of this, I now realize that my parents always wanted the best for me. And to all the girls listening out there, if you think your parents are being strict and unreasonable, being the villain to your own love story, no, they just want the best for you. They are protective of you. And to all the boys listening out there, I'm slim, pretty, kind-hearted, brown-skinned, brought up with Sinhala Buddhist values. I studied in a well-recognized girls' school in Colombo, a graduate, and currently working in a reputed IT company. I inherit substantial wealth, and I'm very sociable and outgoing. And I'm not looking for an urgent marriage, but to have a relationship that will build toward the marriage. So if you're interested, take a pen, write this down, send an email to proposal32354@gmail.com. Until you contact me, I'll remain the confused millennial. Oh, and don't forget the horoscope. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Tejani. Let's give her a round of applause for that wonderful and thrilling speech. Thank you so much for it. Now we come to another interesting segment within this Toastmasters meeting. That is our impromptu session. I will ask you this question and you probably might be able to answer it in the chat. How many of you on a daily basis give prepared speeches? Say no if you don't, say yes if you do. But let me just see how many of you give prepared speeches during a day, a usual day. Yes, no is fine. You give prepared speeches during a usual day. I usually don't if it's not a Toastmasters meeting. Yes, we get answers. No. Generally, it's if you are asked to give a prepared speech, that will be very unless the husband asks us. Yes, so we do not give prepared speeches on a daily basis. But how about unprepared communication? Say you get late home, how would you explain yourself to your spouse? Or you could not inform them. Or you go to work and your boss had asked you to prepare something and you were not able to do that. You come out of various excuses to get out of the sticky situation. This is impromptu speaking, unprepared communication. We do it day in, day out, almost all the time. Now, if I ask you, can we really practice for it? The answer is yes, we can. And the thought process that goes into it is something that we need to practice. If not, what happens is we will stumble and fall on our words itself. So the impromptu session within the Toastmasters meeting is all about letting you practice impromptu or unprepared communication. So for us to conduct that session, I have a Toastmaster from the Marine Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Hasik Jamil will be conducting the table topic session as the table topic master. Toastmaster Hasik, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Niroshan. So as the Toastmaster of the day explain you all, the purpose of the table topic session is to give an opportunity to member to practice in an impromptu setup and organize your thoughts within a limited time. So the Toastmaster session of the Toastmaster meeting, we would display a topic to a member and the member has to talk for minimum 1 minute and up to 2.5 minutes. So the timing cards will be displayed as follows. At the first minute, the timer will display the green card. And at the 1.5 minute, the timer will display the amber card. Then at the second minute onwards, the timer will display the red card and he will display until you wrap up your speech. So usually, if a speaker speaks over 2.5 minutes, the speaker will be disqualified. This is in a contest setup, but for today's meeting, that you can try your best. So we are not going to disqualify you at any moment, but try to talk above 1 minute. So that's what we encourage. Due to the time constraint, we would have 3 speakers only, and I have prepared 6 topics. And let me share my screen. Then there are 6 topics where you can select off and yeah. Can we have volunteers or can someone nominate the speakers so we could save our time? Anyone who would like to take up? Yes, I don't see any volunteers coming up. So could anyone nominate the speakers, or how should it happen? Can I invite the speakers? I have the privilege of pointing out speakers. So if I open the participant list, whoever I see first, I would call them. Is that okay?
I think we can probably start with a Toastmaster and then probably ask some of the participants also if they're willing to take up the slot.
Yeah, sure. So can we? Can a Toastmaster volunteer? I don't want to put you on the limelight. So if you could volunteer, that would be easy. Okay, even Toastmasters. So can I
Shall
name
I
a
take one up?
Yeah,
Shall
please.
I take one? All
That's
right.
good. Okay, so we have topics 1 to 6. So you can select one number, then I will display you the topic.
All right, I'll go with number 3.
Okay, number 3. Toastmaster Niroshan, what is your favorite travel destination? What is your favorite travel destination? Toastmaster Niroshan.
13th of March, 2020. Was the last day that we got to freely roam around in the country or to go any place that we liked. Post that, it was all about pandemic, and a pandemic. Toastmaster of the day, table topic master, the Toastmasters and guests. Although we all wanted to go to different places, the restrictions have been in place that we cannot get to any place that we want to. But there's this one place that I once visited in 2011, Swiss Alps. That in itself, the journey was something thrilling as well as exciting. When I got to that place, there was this mountain top, and we were supposed to hike up to that. It was a difficult task, and I was told that it would take at least 4 to 5 hours just to get to the top. But why not? Let's just take the hike and see how it goes. Little by little, as we go along the journey, we come across snow. And this, my dear friends, was the summertime. Now, for someone who hasn't seen snow, for the first time seeing it was something thrilling as well. Although when you do really touch and feel about it, it's nothing more than the ice that you find in your fridge. But that experience in itself is something to remember. As I walked along and then got to the top, the view from the top of the mountain was just so nice and exciting that I still can remember and smell that feeling, or smell the fragrance of the surroundings that takes me back to that place all the time. Now, what's the beauty about this hike? From the bottom, the valley of the mountain, when you look at it to the top, it seems very difficult and the journey seems exhausting. But when you take one step at a time and you reach the top, the view is something that you can always remember and speak about. Isn't that what we do? When there's something that we want to achieve in life, we just think about the end result and forget to take that first step and go through the journey. But when you do reach your destination, that's when you get to know what you actually worked hard for. You don't stop at the first step. Just keep going up, and I'm sure you will reach where you want to. Over to you, Topic Master.
Can we give a big round of applause to our first table topic speaker, Toastmaster Niroshan Dharmakanta. So Priyanka has advised me to nominate speakers if there's no volunteers. I just open my participants list and I can see Kalani Veerasena. Kalani Veerasena, can you switch on your camera and are you there? Sorry.
Yes, I'm here, but I'm sorry I can't switch on the camera at the moment. Of course, I'm ready to speak.
You are ready to speak. Okay. So you have numbers from, you have 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Can you select a number for me?
Number 4.
Okay, number 4. So number 4 is the screen once again. Kalani, what is your happiest memory? What is your happiest memory? Kalani, over to you.
Yes, thanks for inviting me to select the topic. Actually, I think I have so many happiest moments in my life. And out of those, I think one of the happiest moments in my life is my wedding day. And I met my spouse in my A-level class, and we had a relationship for more than 4 years, and I think he was a very good partner for me. And finally, we told our elders about our affair, and we were fortunate enough to get their best wishes, and get married. And that, I think that was the happiest moment in my life. But at the same time, it was really memorable because I had been hospitalized 2 days before my wedding day, and I had dengue, and I was tested positive for dengue, and I was in a very critical situation at that moment. So it is really, really unforgettable day for me. I think, it is happiest and confused moment in my life. I think, that is the most special day in my life.
Thank you, Kalani, for that wonderful speech. Can we give a big round of applause to Kalani? So next, can I have Lakisha? Lakisha, are you there? Are you ready to take the challenge? Okay, there's no response from that end. Charit Jayawardena. Charit. Okay. Just take up the challenge. You will not get these kind of opportunities because we, like everyone, we have gone through these situations and then only we improved ourselves. Still we do mistakes, but this is your learning place where you could improve yourself. So please take this opportunity and give it a try. No one is going to judge you. This is like friends helping friends.
Hazik, I think Cholani has raised it.
Yeah. Chulani.
Okay, Cholani, yes. Hi, so Chulani, let me share my screen.
Yes, sir. Because of the power cut situation, I can't switch on my camera, sir.
No problem.
Can you hear
no problem.
me, sir? Can you hear me,
We can
sir?
clearly hear you. Yes, we can clearly hear you. So you have 1, 2, 5, and 6. If you can select a number, then I could.
So number one, I select, sir.
Sorry.
Number one.
Number one. Great. So it's going to be an interesting topic. If you are the president for a day, what would you do? If you are a president for a day, what would you do, Chulani?
If I am the president in our country for a day, I make a committee for and make committee members to take some important decisions. Because I have no experiences earlier as a president, therefore I want to make a committee to take their important decisions, judges and lawyers and experienced politicians like that. And then I talk about them, how we give solutions for the current situation, current problems, the challenges faced innocent people in our country, and how to solve the fuel problem in these days, and how should we treat poor people, and economic problems, how we solve the economic problems like that. I want to discuss with them. Then I try my best to take quick actions to solve these problems. And I don't want to collect money or anything lavishly, and want to solve the problems to live people in peace and harmony, and without burdens of problems in the country, because I also face these problems nowadays as a citizen. So this is how I do actions as the president. And I want others suggestions for this. Suggestions means the educated people suggestions, they are like that. Then I think it will be better for that, because without being I don't think I am the only person I can do anything, and I won't take the correct decision for the problem now. So thank you, sir. That's enough, sir, I think.
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful speech. Thank you. Thank you, Chulani, for taking up the challenge. So let's have one more topic, one last topic, because the first one was done by a Toastmaster. We would like to give an opportunity to another member. Anyone, if you could volunteer immediately, that would be great. If not, I have the privilege to call you. Okay, can we have Indika Vitanagi?
Yes, sir, I'm ready. Yes,
It's
sir,
Indika.
I'm ready.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so you have the numbers of 2, 5, and 6.
Yes, I'd like to select number 5, sir.
Okay.
Number 5.
Okay. Indika, what is your hidden talent? What is your hidden talent? Indika Vitanage.
Yes. I think I have many talents, hidden talents, but I think I can clearly see the talent of attracting students towards me, because I am, as an English teacher, I always like to my students, because uh, the these days students are very innocent persons, because they have no any way to learn anything, because in these days we all are facing fuel crisis. Some students can't come to school, so always I am kind towards them. So I think kindness is my hidden talent. In addition to that, I can say the as as a teacher, I always dedicate my life to the education, because I work in a rural school. There are many students, they are very poor. So always I try to educate them, because they have no money to get tuition, to go to tuition classes. So I always help them to improve their knowledge. In addition to that, as a person, I always, my personal life also, if I see a helpless person, I'd like to help him or her. Sometimes I see in the market or in any place beggars. So I always like to at least give small money also. So I think those are my hidden talents. I think that's all for now.
Thank you very much, Indika. Can we give a big round of applause for Indika for that inspiring speech? And her talent, hidden talent is her kindness. So wonderful speech, Indika. And can we give a big round of applause to all the speakers who did a great job today and taking that challenge? So without a further ado, I would like to hand over the control back to the Toastmaster of today, Toastmaster Niroshan Dharmakant. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Topic Master. Shall we give the Topic Master a round of applause as well for a very well conducted and a thrilling round of table topics? Since we are behind the schedule, let me quickly move on to the evaluation session for the day. So we have the general evaluator, DTM Shamali, to conduct the evaluation session for the day. Over to you, Shamali.
Thank you, Toastmaster Niroshan. So I would now call upon the timer this evening, Toastmaster Tilina Vitarama, to give the timer's report.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. So today I evaluated all the timing of the speakers. So first I evaluated this Toastmaster Sharma Mahalingkam's speech. So he took 15 minutes and 10 seconds for his speech. Then the prepared speech, Tejani Vijayavardhana took exact 7 minutes for her speech. Then Toastmaster, then I evaluated the table topic speech. In table topic speech, Toastmaster Niroshan took 2 minutes and 35 seconds for his speech. Toastmaster Kalani Veerasena took 1 minute and 44 seconds for her speech. Then Chulani Gunasekara took 2 minutes and 30 seconds for her speech. Then Indika Vitanage took 2 minutes and 10 seconds for her speech. That's my timer's report for the day. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tilina. So moving on, I now call upon Toastmaster Manesh to provide the R counters report. Toastmaster Manesh.
Thank you, our General Evaluator, DTM Shamali. Let me give my General Evaluated report as well. The prepared speech, Toastmaster Tejani Vijayavardhana, I would able to find out only 1 hour. There were no filler words, and Toastmaster Niroshan's, there were only 1 repetitive word, that is the, but there were no R's and no filler words at all. And table topic speakers, Kalani Vijay Singh. There were 9 R's and there were 2 repetitive words, I think, and. And also you have used a word but. And also Toastmaster Chulani Gunasekara, there were 23 hours, and you have used and as repetitive words, and also there were one unnecessary pauses as well. And Toastmaster Indika Vitanage, there were 11 hours. Sorry, it's Indika Vitanage. There were 11 hours, and you have used but I think has three times, and also because twice, also so has 4 times, has a repetitive words. So this is my counter report. Over to you, our general evaluator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manish. So we go in order. I would now call upon the evaluator for the prepared speech done by Toastmaster Tejani Vijayawardena, Distinguished Toastmaster Ruvani Vimalasena to deliver the evaluation.
Madam General Evaluator, am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
Toastmaster Tejani, are you there in the audience?
Yes, I am.
Hi, what a thrilling speech. So congratulations, and let me go ahead with your evaluation. So for the audience, as during the keynote speech, as distinguished Toastmaster Sarma said, evaluations are important for a speaker because it motivates a speaker, and we have to appreciate a speaker's effort and skills. So here I am evaluating our guest speaker today. What I really liked, there are two things that I liked about your speech, Tejani. One is the overall purpose of your speech. We deliver speeches there are multiple purposes. One is to inform the audience, to inspire, and also to entertain. So I will put your speech under the category of entertainment. And I'm sure the audience will remember your speech for the rest of their lives. And how you brought in your message was memorable because there are multiple techniques that you've used. For example, humor, dialogues, voice variations. Humor is something, for me, it is a very difficult technique to use, but you have mastered that skill. For example, the conversations that you had with your father and mother, and some of the incidents that you shared during your college days, school days, those were brilliant and commendable. And your voice variations, even when you came out with your dialogues between your parents and your sister, now that was something that I really enjoyed as an evaluator. So I was actually picturing you and I was already in that whole moment. Then the other point that I want to highlight would be the overall message. Even though it was a speech of entertainment, there is a hidden message in it. What? It's about parents. Yes, for us, during our childhood days, it's a headache when parents are behind us. But overall, what they do is for our own good. So those are the 2 points that I would like to highlight during your speech. One area for improvement would be your movements. I kind of felt that it was a bit restricted today. So even though you wanted to move out and do a bit of stunts, it was restricted. And I kind of felt that there was a park art at your end also. But that's fine. Next time, maybe you can try out at a different location. So overall, there are 2 areas which I really liked about your speech, the techniques used and the overall message. One area for improvement would be to find a location where you have space to do your movements. Congratulations and all the very best to you.
Thank you, DJ Ruby.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Ruvani. So with that, we will move on to the table topics segment. We are actually a little behind time right now. So we did have 4 table topics speeches, and Toastmaster Daratha Ratnavira from Pick Me Toastmasters Club is our table topics evaluator this evening. I invite Toastmaster Daratha to deliver the evaluations of the 4 speakers.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Unfortunately, I won't be turning on my camera, but I'll continue. So our first speaker for the day was Toastmaster Niroshan. And as we know, it's not my first time listening to Toastmaster Niroshan speak, and I have to say that I am a big fan. And I'm sure all of the rest of the audience was impressed by his impromptu speaking abilities as well. Although the topic was provided at that very moment, you could say that his speech was good as a prepared speech as well. So he started off by including a personal anecdote, a trip that he went to. So, and the way he started telling a story, it grabbed our attention, and we were glued to his speech, listening to every word. So he used such expressive, vivid language that we could picture it in our mind. And even though he was just supposed to talk about his favorite travel destination, he didn't stop there. He had a very good structure in his speech, where after describing about his travels, he ended up actually leaving us with some insightful message to our lives, which is when we plan something, when we plan to reach a destination, don't stop at the first step, but keep going till you reach the destination. So Toastmaster Niroshan, very well done. It showed you showed great confidence up on stage or virtual stage, and excellent and expressive use of language. So I just want to leave a message with the rest of the audience as well. So I'm sure when Toastmaster Niroshan first delivered table topics speech, he was nowhere near this good at it, and he didn't get so impressive at it overnight either. That all comes from years of experience. Practice makes perfect. So I urge all of you to keep trying. And again, very well done, Toastmaster Niroshan. Our second speaker for the day was Kalani, speaking about her happiest memory. I have to congratulate you on taking up the opportunity to speak. I know it's not something that is very easy, that it doesn't come easy to most people. I know for a fact that it took me a lot of Toastmasters meetings to grab the courage to do a table topic speech, but you delivered, and it was such an excellent attempt. You had to talk about your happiest memory, but you started saying, okay, I have many, that, but you were able to narrow it down to your special day, which was your wedding day. And you talked us through about how you met your husband, how you had to at one point talk to your families, and then you decided to get married, and then overcoming a difficult situation where you were hospitalized with a medical emergency, but at the end of the day that you pulled through, and that made that occasion even more memorable. And if I were you, I would have personally included a personal touch, as in maybe include something very memorable that happened throughout, maybe the day of the wedding, or when you met your husband. So you could have included a memory on how you remember that happening. So you could say, okay, I met him when at my A-level class, I saw this random stranger looking at me, and you could have painted a picture for us to get attached to your story. So with that, I have to say that you had a very good use of voice modulation, and you were very clear in your speech. And later I noticed in your chat that you mentioned that you were very nervous, but I have to say that we didn't notice that much. when you were speaking. So very well done on that. And you showed that you had great confidence speaking in front of an audience. So can we all have a virtual round of applause for Kalani? Moving on, our third speaker was Shulani, and you talked to us about what you would do in the case where you became the president for a day. And right off the bat, I believe you had a lot to say. So you started then and there about creating committees, getting expertise opinion, and you went into a very thoroughly logical and detailed plan. And you didn't even take a minute to prepare. You just like that, you just went off. So that showed great initiative, and very well done on that as well, even though this was supposed to be an impromptu speech. You used clear, audible, good use of language, and we could understand you very clearly. And you built some structure into your speech where you said, I don't have that much of a personal expertise on this, so I'd like to get more people experience than me. And speaking about the pace of your speech, which I noticed was on the a bit too rushed, I would say, because clearly you had a lot to say. But I would suggest, if I were me, if it was me, I'd take a breather and slow it down and go at it where the people listening to you would have some time to comprehend and better grasp what you had to say. And related to your struggles, so since this is a sort of a sensitive and timely topic, you kind of related to what you are going through as well, but I would suggest that you try to include a bit like a personal story perhaps into your speech. So at the end of the day, very well done. You showed great confidence taking the opportunity to speak as well. So well done, Chulini. You deserve a round of applause as well. And finally, our final, the fourth speaker for today was Indika Vitanage. And you talked about your hidden talent. And among your many talents that you described, you said your favorite sort of superpower is the ability to attract students towards you. So on a superficial level, although you say that it's attracting students towards you, as you dwelled into your speech, we realized your superpower is not attracting students towards you, it's kindness that you have, the compassion that you have towards people, not only your students, and the way you treat them with kindness. And the way that you talked, you were setting an example as a teacher, which all of us in the audience could learn a thing or two about being compassionate towards one another. And you talked about your experiences outside of the school, of your professional career as well, that how in your personal life you try to live by the same set of principles. And a way that I could think to improve, if it was me, was that maybe again include some like a personal interaction that you had with a student, or a person you met at the market, or try to include a bit of humor in your speech to capture the audience a bit more. But other than that, again, you showed the great confidence speaking in front of an audience like this for the first time, and you used a very expressive language as well, which we could easily understand. So very well done. Keep practicing. Practice makes perfect, and you deserve a virtual round of applause as well. Well done to all our table topic speeches. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bharata, for those detailed evaluations. We are behind time further, so I invite the grammarian this evening, Toastmaster Vinodini Durgabakshi, to deliver the grammarian's report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So I picked up a few grammatical errors, but as I said in the beginning, English is not our mother tongue, but we are learning every day, and it's good to speak a language correctly. So someone said, "Here goes my relations." It could have been, "Here go my relations." Then they also said, "I went to only girls' school." Could have been said as, "I went to a girls' only school." Then and all above is my sister. Would have been said as, "and above all is my sister." There was another person who said, "I always have a like to my students." Could have been said as, "I always have a liking towards my students." "I like to give small money." Should have been said as, "I like to give some money." And that is what I picked up. Over to you, General Evaluator, Madam. And the word of the day, I'm thrilled to say, was used 5 times.
Thank you, Madam Grammarian. So to my report, overall report as the general evaluator, and I'll make this fast because we are behind time. The meeting commenced a few minutes late because we were waiting for some of the participants to connect. So commencing the meeting proper from an administrative point of view, Ms. Priyanka Mendis was very meticulous in outlining the guidelines for the benefit of all of us and the attendees. She invited the country director to speak next, who articulated the purpose of today's event and also gave some insight into Toastmasters. Taking on from there, distinguished Toastmaster Ruwani Vimalasena introduced or elaborated about Toastmasters International, the Toastmasters movement, and it is spread and what we do, and invited the presenter of the educational session, distinguished Toastmaster Sarma Mahalingam. And I like the way he started off by 2 important quotes, like the Benjamin Franklin quote and the quote by the founder of Toastmasters International, which is a quote we use at our meetings very often, that we learn in moments of enjoyment. And that is why we try to make our Toastmasters meetings enjoyable so that our members learn and remember. Moving forward from there, the Toastmaster of the day took charge, charming, confident, and tying those segments together like a string of a necklace, a string of pearls. So he started off well, handed over to myself as the general evaluator, and I introduced the tag team. The timer was clear and concise in giving out his report, describing the role, and later giving out his report. The R counter, again, there was clarity in explaining the role, the purpose of the R counter, because consciously, sometimes mostly unconsciously, as speakers, we have these sounds coming. So when it is pointed out, you do take an effort to improve. So that's an important part. And the grammarian again introduced the word, and I think all of you participants, I hope you have at least a touch of thrill today to have been a part of this session. So the grammarian's aspects were very well explained, and then we come to the prepared speech segment. The prepared speech done by young Toastmaster Tejani, who was evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Ruwani Vimalasena. So I'm not going to elaborate on the evaluation, which was done well, except to say that she did it within time, the evaluation. And if you noted, she very aptly practiced the CRC method spoken of by the presenter of the educational session, which is commend, recommend, and commend. She commended the speaker, she recommended improvements about movements, and she commented by cementing the feedback. Moving on to the next evaluator, Toastmaster Daratha, who did a marathon evaluation of 4 speakers, which is commendable, Toastmaster Daratha. You deserve a round of applause for doing evaluations of 4 speakers back to back. And I found you were detailed, encouraging, constructive, and you demonstrated active listening by picking up something from each speaker and elaborating. So as the general evaluator, I would fail in my duty whilst commending you on excellent evaluations if I don't remind you we were behind time. So maybe you could have shortened the evaluations a little bit. So I think when you consider the whole meeting today, we had a great round of sessions with 3 participants taking part, even though they were encouraged to speak. They didn't volunteer. I hope they benefited from that experience and the learning, and you would take away good memories of this session. With that, I would like to hand over the session back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Niroshan.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, for that comprehensive evaluation session and conducting it really well so that everyone understands what we did well and where we can improve as well. With that, my duties as the Toastmaster of the day comes to an end. And I must say it's been a pleasure hosting this meeting, the demo meeting for the day. The learnings that we had today would definitely go a long way in impressing you to join Toastmasters if that is what you aspire to do. If not, of course, take this message across to the students and your colleagues so that anyone who can benefit out of it will definitely do so as well. Let me now hand over the controls back to Priyanka Mendis to conclude the session. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you. So first off, I would really ask you, if you have not already accessed the feedback, I just put the link again. Please click on that and go to the feedback and give us your feedback on this session. So that's the first thing I'd like to say. And then the important task of thanking all the Toastmasters who are here from Division A, namely Distinguished Toastmaster Shanaka Vijayasinghe. I don't know whether he came, but thank him anyway. And Distinguished Toastmasters Sarma Mahalingam, Ruwani Vimalasena, Shyamali Jayasekara, Manish Kristumani. And Toastmasters Tirina Vitarana, Veena Durgabakshi, Hasik Jalil, Tejani Vijayawardena, Daratha Ratnavira, Niroshan, Dharmakanta. So we are very, very grateful to you, and thank you so much for an interesting presentation on not only a very effective model of improving English, but how to build the confidence of ourselves and our students. So this meeting, because of the nature of being a model meeting, I understand could not be very interactive as our usual sessions are, but I know that we enjoyed it anyway because of the people who are still at the meeting despite it being 15 minutes late. So as teachers, we have the task of using what we enjoyed today to craft learning experiences for our students. So changing it, adapting it to suit our particular environment and our students. So we are so confident that you as teachers will do that and that our children will benefit. So thank you to everyone who joined, and we look forward to seeing you on a Forum for English Teachers project next month. We will keep you informed. We have your email addresses. We'll keep you informed.